Hey there team, so this was a 3v3 battle that we did on near Harad last night. I'm playing as Cardlin. On my right I have the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm and on my left I've got Dale. So originally with this matchup I expected, Dale and myself, we can dish out a lot of ranged fire, so I was hoping for a defensive game. But then one of our enemies picked Isengard and I knew that that was going to be sort of unlikely. And then we have Lothlorien here, who will certainly have some decent archers, and I believe Rune over there, but we can, yes, definitely Rune. So I'll start here on the left with my Dale ally, Evil Casper. So he's got some Greenwood lumbermen out front, backed up by some Laketown pikes, Merquindy pikes, Bardian Herd, and then Bardian Herd on this side too. Blackshot Dragon Slayers, interesting little formation around the Ballista. Dalian Marksman, and Bardian Marksman in that little triangle. Two Earls of Dale, and then these Earls of Esgaroth, three of them. And Sword Masters of Karnin. So pretty elite, I would say, in terms of a Dale army. You see Dale brought a lot of the time, and it's very mass approach with all Laketown infantry, which is it's cool that they can do that. Carlin, as myself, bring my standard pitch battle list with a few little changes, because this was actually a 14k game instead of a normal 13k, so a few little weird things that I'll point out when I see them. I've got my 3 units of crossbows out here. Guardians and 2 sharpshooters, backed up by spears there, all in loose formation. There's quite a big gap here. Usually this is a much smaller gap, but I wanted to try and push them out a little bit further. They've got spears right behind them, so I felt they'll be all right. Backed up, of course, by my pike line, 2 garrison footmen and a wardens, swordsmen on either side, on either flank, Hearthguard in the centre for that nice long-ranged inspire. Dunedain captains, and then Tharbad warhammers. Again, standard strategy is to have one on either side just to keep everything inspired. Dunedain rangers here and civilians. So these rangers and these civilians were where I put my extra 1k. Then my Tharbad Riders of Tharbad there, and my Royal Court of House Thorondor. So pretty heavy cav focus there, pretty expensive cav. And then my Dwarven ally, 2 units of Orc Hunters here, backed up by Sons of the Fallen, 2 units of Sons of the Fallen, and then 2 units of Shield Guard there. 2 pikes behind them, Axe Guard, 3, and then another Spearman to watch that right flank of his. Infantry, 2 infantry, Guards of Khazad-dûm, and lastly a Mithril Guard at the back. Now, this is my first feeling, was I saw this. I've seen Lord Blackwall about a bit, but I think he's still pretty fresh to the game. So I should have called this out, and I said, they're going to have a ballista. That's bait for a ballista. So that was this is on me, I would say. Over here we have Isengard by Lord Welcome. So Welcome versus Blackwall, who is the superior lord, I suppose. We've got 2 units of Dunlending Clansmen, backed up by 3 archers, and then he's got 2 crossbows as well dotted around the army. So pretty heavy range focus from Isengard, especially when you throw that ballista into the mix. There's 2 units of pikes, Dunlending veterans, 2 of them there, backed up by 2 units of Urukai infantry. There's the crossbows there I was talking about, pikes, and then another 2 units of infantry and champions of the White Hand, and some more reavers. So yeah, it's pretty balanced, but hard ranged focus from Isengard there. Lothlorien here, he's going to be facing off against me primarily. Galadrim Riders, I do not much care for fighting horse archers, especially not with crossbows, so I was a little upset to see them. And the Mountain Company there, very nice cav. Swordmasters on the left, Galadrim Nobles, and some missile infantry up there, some more and more. So that's 3 units of pretty nice elven archers, with the Galadrim nobles there, of course, too. Lothlorien archers and more Lothlorien archers. So I see this and I immediately think, I've lost the range game, which my Cardinal build is, I definitely like to dominate the range game. Then axes, 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 3 units of axes, another unit of swordmasters on the right flank, then some javelin throwers and some pikes there, nicely spread out. Some, I think right now they're the best pikes in the game. I might be wrong in saying that. And lastly, Rune. I didn't have much contact with Rune over here. I love this formation, very aesthetic for me. Some Dragon's Wrath Warlords, some heavy infantry there, Flaggeram. Well, sorry, look. Oh wait, yep, yeah, okay, yeah. So they're all heavy infantry. 4 units of that, 2 units of the halberdiers there, backed up by some Eastron hunters, nice massed archers. He does have some elite archers there, and some more in the centre. So 2 units of these Narem, and then 1 unit of the Eastron hunters. Some crossbows. Yeah, definitely they'll have some armoured units that those crossbows will be useful against. Camel's chosen. And some more archers. Okay, actually, I thought I was discounting his chances here in terms of beating Dale's archers, but he's brought a lot. He's brought a lot of archers to the field, and with these Dragon's Wrath Warlords, the Cav, I would say those 2 units of Dale are going to be able to beat that. So that's everybody as we saw them. The decision that I made at the start here was, since Dale was forming up in this very defensive formation, and Dale generally has the archer focus to be defensive, I said that, you know, we'll leave you to it, and we're going to focus over here on the right, because I wanted that Isengard Ballista done, and you can see here they've kind of mirrored that, surprisingly. So we'll jump into it, and I'll go back up to normal speed. I think I start moving pretty quickly, and even though Lothlorien is here, I do a lunge toward Isengard. That ballista immediately turns focus toward the beautiful complement of dwarves to fire upon, and I want to get in there. I want to start pushing. I want to start harassing Isengard as best I can. See if we can break through that. What do I do with my Cav? Cav right now is just moving along. Lothlorien stays. Oh no, I was going to say he stays in place. He starts sending some archers out to some horse archers. They seem to be going. They do end up going for me, but I'm just trying to guess if I think I was always going to be his target. I don't think he was going to go harass the dwarves. So he slips into sharpshooter range. I try to fire a shot, but I don't think I get one off in time. No, I don't. That's really annoying. Do I get one off on these guys? I do. I managed to get a quick back shot off on them. I was a little bit upset about how long it took these sharpshooters to actually fire off, but you know, when you go from running to stopping and firing, this is something I need to work on big time. When I'm being engaged, when I'm on the move, I can start to lose my composure pretty quick, and I end up taking a lot more casualties than I should. My buddy here is he's already taken a few losses from that ballista. You know, oh yeah, so you can see that shield guard has just been popped up. But this is something that you do a lot of the time. You think, okay, I'm being hit by artillery, I need to go into loose formation. But the issue is, a ballista doesn't really care. It's going to go like, this is great for when you get hit by catapults, but a ballista, you really need to be stretched down to long, thin lines rather than just spread. I'm really lucky that he didn't turn his focus toward me, because a good ballista shot right now could go through, kill a bunch of my garrison, a bunch of these guys, hit a few warhammers, and maybe even take out a few rangers too. Right now could even hit my cav. That would be brutal. But no, I think Lord Welcome was focused on just hitting the dwarves as hard as he could. Now, at this point, what I should have just said to Lord Blackhole was, let's go on the aggressive, let's charge. Because this was we were not going to win this ranged battle. Orc hunters are certainly pretty good. Okay, I'm going to pause it here because I want to talk about that. Orc hunters are certainly quite good archers, but they're not going to beat the overwhelming amount of fire that that Willcome has brought to the field. So we should have just gathered up, and the punching power of the dwarves, backed up by a few of my crossbows, and then maybe my cav as well. We could have breached that line, I think. So I tried to approach them with my crossbows. As I said, I was wanting to tease Isengard, just make him hold his focus on me, to see if that allowed Lord Blackhole a chance to do something, a chance to abuse him. But I let myself get a little bit too close, and these mountain company punished me for it. Now, I don't think I handled it too poorly from that point on. I managed to get a crossbow shot into them. Don't take any out? No, I managed to take some out. I get my royal court in there, but my spearmen should have been a little bit faster. Okay, no. At the end of all that, they get away. They've lost over 10 guys, but I've lost a lot of my sharpshooters. So I moved my spearmen up. Now this is sort of where I should have just probably lined my spearmen up there, because it's when I turn around that he starts firing on them. And they are very well armoured, and they've got a good shield. So when you're shooting them from the front, they can shrug off a lot of damage, but it's this walking back. It took me way too long to start running. But as I say, what I should have done was just not moved them at all, just gotten them there, lined up, and sat. So I moved them back, and I think he thinks, great, let's get these champions of the White Hand in to strike me. This is where I do think I regret this. Now, what I did here was I thought, this is a chance for me to do some serious damage to the champions of the White Hand. So I just stood my ground and moved to open fire, charged my spearmen in. I also brought my cav around. I want to see how many men I actually lose in this charge. So, yeah, okay, yep, a lot of guys, but then, why are they charging like that? I guess they're focusing on him. Damn, because if I'd gotten a full encirclement with my spears, yeah, that's what I've done, that's really annoying. But, so he's down to 21, and he's still taking crossbow fire. I get my knights. Now this is not a confrontation I want to be in for very long, but I get a charge off. And a mixture of that charge and a few shots, they're down to 16. And then I've got another unit of spears coming in, they're on 14. I still got all my knights, nope. Saying that, I just lose one. 12, yeah. So, taking out 10 champions of the White Hand for everything that I lost there, I don't think it was worth it, but I definitely do gain a bit of supremacy on the field here. He threw out the Staff Masters, I think just to try and gain something. I think he probably thought the Staff Masters would beat my spears, but doesn't work out too well. But if you look at the state of all of my ranged units now, these Guardians are on 62, they're on 38, and you know, they're only on they're still on 100, they're still pretty good. But my spears as well, 45. This confrontation has not gone well for me. But they're firing upon me, and I kind of I felt right now, I just want them to use all of their archer fire on my depleted units of archers right now. Those spearmen, Staff Masters even, are losing pretty comfortably to my spearmen. I was kind of happy with how that was going to go. And that was, Staff Masters I guess are the closest thing to fodder that Lothlorien has. So it wasn't really too much of a loss for him, but no, still I was happy to see them taken off the field. These spearmen do have AP, so you know, they've only given them the armor upgrade, but it's not great armor. And but I'm sure that a bit of armor piercing helped out. Royal Court, I tried to move them in just to wipe them out when they were still in the fight, but I realised that they're routing and I pulled them all back. I think they maybe take a little bit of archer fire, but yeah. Now, is this where I screw up with my rangers? Not yet. Ah, well they're on fire at will, which I think they were probably just hitting some of them, but that's stopped now. I stretched out my pikes just because I know that I'm such a juicy target for that ballista. But as I thought, you know, this is really just a tempting position. Oh, imagine a shot up that line right now, that would be absolutely horrific. But he's doing okay in the archer fight. As I say, I think Isengard, I think Lord Welcome is more than happy to just sit back and fire every single shot from his ballista before he worries too much. Now I let this get too just, like, there's no formation here, there's no thought put into any of this, this is just a mess. I really should have put more order into this formation. I allowed myself to get a bit too worked up. Now I'm wasting crossbow shots on these archers. Again, my strategy right now was just making them shoot at my archers. I wanted them to run out of ammunition so that when my real army gathered up, I wasn't going to lose any infantry. We'll do a quick jump because I wasn't really too sure of what was going on over here most of the game. Looks like those warlords had a try, but were mowed down by archer fire. I'm probably engaged by the earls at some point. Yeah, no, it doesn't. They got a decent charge on some archers there, but yeah. So he's just edging up that ballista now. He has. Oh, ouch! That's, yeah. Again, this is why I don't set up pikes, because this is why I don't set up stakes, because I forget where my own stakes are. That's why he set up his archers in this formation, just so that he could deploy stakes around that. Yeah, dear, it happens way too often, and those are pretty expensive cav, so that would definitely hurt to lose. So what do we have here? Some guy's been picked away at by archer fire, but with him having the ballista, he's got control. Now it's certainly not an Isengard ballista, but against a nice compact force like this, it's going to do some serious damage. Is this win? No. So this is kind of how it goes. I'm just losing archers. I try to pull them back. There's only 12 of them left, but I try and get them on back just so they'll be firing for the rest of the game. I know that all I'm really hitting here are archers, so I gather my sharpshooters up, and I just want to try to hit Lord Welcome again. Just all the while I'm wanting to make Isengard look at me. I'm wanting him to register me as a threat, so that you know, he exposes himself to a move from Lord Blackhole. But he doesn't take my bait. Yeah, some clansmen may be moving around to spook me, but no. Looking at this now, I should have had my sharpshooters aiming at these nobles. Kill, you know, they're very good in melee, very good archers of course, but good in melee too, and taking out some of them could have been helpful. What am I doing with my cav? Oh, that's not cav. No, so here's where I sort of screwed up with my rangers. I wanted to bring them here and just rake through this sort of blob. I know it's poor quality units, but I thought, you know, kill a few of them, that'll mess them up. But all I do is expose my rangers to these nobles, and I go down from a full unit of rangers very quickly. I don't let them get a shot off. I realise how quickly they're dying, and I just try to get them out. So that's too bad. So that trebuchet's firing, not trebuchet, ballista's firing off now. It's trying to do some arc shots, trying to hit the more expensive units. I don't blame him for that. That's 2 units of camels chosen. Okay, he's definitely gone with the red limit for that, but no, they're good. They're good in melee, so I don't really blame him. But so he's responding with his own archers. These lumbermen. There are cheaper fodder units for Dale, but no, there's worse things that you could be having shot at, so it's not too bad. So it's clear from this point that Lothlorien has the supreme archer advantage over me, and that is why I was very surprised to see him do what he does next. I don't think he does it just yet, but it'll be coming. Black Hole is continuing to just loop around, and I understand what he's doing. He's trying to sort of turn the flank, but from my current position, even if I slammed all of my infantry down onto the flank of Isengard now, which I could do so much damage, I would suddenly be flanked by Lothlorien, and it would not end well. So he rushes his archers forward, and I respond to that by, I'll go back up to normal speed, because I think where things are slightly less tense now. So I get some good close range shots on his men. These 19 staff masters, I'm not really too worried about them in melee. But at this point, I start to retreat soon, and he takes that in an unusual way. No, I guess not yet. Have my cav dancing around. I know he's got a lot of archers on me, but a quick stab just to get rid of those staff masters, which I thought I totally wiped them out, but nope, they held. There are 5 of them left, and these 2 spearmen are just fighting them in melee. But yep, no, they're not gonna pull through that. They're getting hit by too many guys, I think. So I'm wanting to pull them back anyway, but they're engaged, so they're not going anywhere. But with this position formed up, and he's just wanting to get these 5 guys off in, so they're not going to be turning the tide of the battle, so it's fair enough. My sharpshooters, they're still just firing straight up this line. I know it's just Urukai archers, but I just wanted to cause some damage. And also in response to that, many of them are firing straight up, because he's got 1 unit deployed inside of another. Yeah, these 96 men are sort of deployed along this 88, so a lot of the men are sort of firing straight up in response to me. And the good thing about these Minas Grythlin sharpshooters is they can take a lot of archer fire. Perhaps not Elven archer fire, but they can take a lot of Urukai archer fire. Have a quick glance over here while things are still just an archery fest over there. Which they are an archery fest over here, but they're just a bit more of an aggressive archery fest. What's left of the lumbermen are just trying to break that charge. They're relatively successful. I think lumbermen are AP, which will help them against that, but they're routing away. They're caught by some Bardian marksmen who are out of ammunition by those things, and they're going right into the front of some Bardian herd. So those, yeah, that's not a fight they're going to win. Anything changing here yet? No? Oh my goodness, I let them get really close. I think I wanted to chase these guys away. Ah, good. So this is the point I was looking for. So I sort of charge on forward to chase them away. He responds by moving his axes forward. And then I perform a full retreat at that point, which I think he takes as a good chance to charge me. So he arranges his entire force, or most of it anyway, and he starts trudging across the battlefield toward me. Now, he's out of ammunition there. He's still got ammunition on these guys, and I think those riders still have ammo too, yeah. So this is something that I thought was kind of strange. If I was him, I would have moved up, but I would have only moved up into archer range, and I would have just hammered away at me, because I don't have the archery forces to fight back. So you're either going to force me to attack you, or I'm just gonna have to sit there until you're out of ammo. But yeah, so he moves on it. I'll move back to 2 actually. 6 is a little bit jumpy. He does use up his archers, but these axemen are just getting into position. I've got my front line formed up. His archers are hitting my garrison footmen now. But I realize it's far later than I should have. These are all just light infantry or heavy infantry. There's no spears here. So I charge my cav. I charge my cav through my own spears, but that doesn't seem to worry them, which is good. Oh, right. Yeah, so that gets a bit messy. But I pull them out as quick as I can and get the pikes into position. Swordsman, especially a depleted unit like this, a damaged unit, will hold up pretty well. These Glathram Riders are out of ammunition now, so they just get dedicated to melee. To the flank of my pikes, which... what I should have done when they were engaged, I should have just grabbed the pikes and very quickly finished off that unit. Just slow down a little bit because lots of stuff is happening around me. I've got these guys now, I should be using them more. I need to be, this is what the whole front line is about. It's allowing me a chance to get my cav out and slamming into things. The civilians, what I tried to do with the civilians is get them around the flank and hit them, scare them with numbers. But I think his mountain company come and have a go at them. So those civilians do not hold out well against a cavalry charge and go from 150 to about 100. So I try to back them up with my Tharbad Riders, who do manage to get a charge off. And I'm trying to see how many men they've still got in that unit. Still 15 though. So I thought that would have gone a bit better. But the civilians are stuck in there just fighting away. Glathram Riders coming on in. I moved my knights around to support this. So my wardens, they're handling this pretty well. He's got his swordmasters in position though. His swordmasters will beat just about anything I have. Dunedain Rangers, now they've got a clear shot through here right now. Now I know all these men are spaced, but they're still good quality. So I was just hoping to just rake right down that line. And the Hearthguard, not body piercing, but armor piercing arrows. I don't think I was giving them a target though. I think I was letting them aim and shoot who they wanted, which I really probably should have made sure that they were going through that position. Now, I think at that point they were out of ammunition, so I should have sent them forward earlier. And these spearmen, you know, they could have come around the flank, could have engaged here. Because this is where I am having most of my troubles. That position, I'm not doing too bad. Here is where I'm having trouble, because these garrison footmen are just struggling against these axes. No, they're doing okay now. And they're just standing there. They're no doubt inspiring, but you know, those pikes would cut through anything I had. I keep my knights in melee far too long. I hope I get a counter charge against those guys. I'm not certain if I did or not, because there's only 7 of them. One good charge from my Tharbad Riders would have dealt with them. You can see them starting to move now. Nope. Dang. No, that's unfortunate. Yeah, if I'd acted on them a bit earlier and slammed into that group, that could have been those mounted company wiped out, and I would have still had a very healthy unit of Tharbad Riders. The civilians, I suppose the civilians did their job. You know, they're killing some elven archers. They held onto the enemy cav for a little bit, and so that is my general.
They have lost half their men.
I viewed it as he's still got 15 left. Surely the general's going to be okay, but soon my general dies. And as Cardlin's often knocked for their terrible morale, but they have so many units that can buff it that I don't tend to find it's too much of an issue. But when you do lose your general, it can become very bad. My Rangers, now that is a perfect target. I don't think that's what they're going for. Oh no, it is. Yep, good. Hitting some of my own guys, but I do feel it's worth it to just get rid of these guys on the field.
Our general lies
there you go. Yeah, so unfortunately lost my general there. And that is going to cause... See, this line, it's of course not going exceptionally well for me, but things were holding. Things were still doing damage. A little mob of Uruk-hai archers arriving make things a bit more complicated, but they should still not cause too much problems. So you can see I've gone down to 25. I lost far too many in this position here. Now this was surprising to me. So this was a proper charge, and I expected to do some serious damage to those Galathrian nobles, but very little. And with the mounted company slamming into the backs of me now, sort of trapping me in that position, really sort of between a rock and a hard place. I try to get out, but I'm losing so many. Those Javelineers managed to break through. Am I able to get one volley right through them? I am, so that's pretty good. But still, they've still got half their ammunition left at this point, and I need to keep them firing. I can't allow them to be locked in melee, even with someone that they are going to beat. So the Hearthguard, gather them and throw them in to hold these guys in place. And I decide to run my Rangers all the way around to here, where I think they'll have the best shot through these archers, swordmasters, and clansmen and the like. I felt pretty good about their chances. The footmen are starting to struggle at this point, even though I've gotten these guys into position. It's a lot of fodder to take the hits, but then there's a few swordmaster units that are just holding me. And with that rear charge, even with my Hearthguard slamming into the rear charge, it starts to panic these footmen. Riders go down to about 11 people left. These nobles have lost many people, but this is after about 3 or 4 cav charges at that point. They were very sturdy. The Dunedain captains will hold out well, but when you're facing, as I say, one of the best pike units in the game, in a pike formation, you're not gonna pull through that. I see. Okay, so my Hearthguard were sort of split up in that position. That's unfortunate, because I could have used them all in melee there. And my allies doing so. The dwarves do manage to throw themselves in at this point. Like what I wanted to happen did happen. I took away some of the Urukai's fighting power. They have
lost half their men,
and allowed a good chance for the dwarves to fight. So it was going quite well. Like I really, as soon as I was engaged, I thought that the dwarves had been wiped out, but I looked over and the dwarves were still fighting. But that is their purpose. So in these long slugfests, the dwarves really do handle themselves quite well. 6 champions the white hand left, so we have no cavalry over here to count. This front line is starting to shatter a little bit with my morale just failing. My Rangers are almost in position now to just strike down that line. How's Dale getting on? So this really doesn't actually. Where is the rest of Dale's forces? All right, okay. From the looks of this doesn't actually look quite good. But then you do see we've pushed. Well, Dale has pushed through on this side, broken that, and he is starting to just curl up that front line. The black shots are thrown into a fight that perhaps, is going to be pretty tough for them. Actually, no, these are just archers. The black shots will definitely hold through there. The Scion Rim, yeah, those Bardian Herd have been flanked around. They're going to be broken. And I think that they still have javelins left. Yeah, so it's all in all, it's looking pretty good for Dale right here, while it's not looking so good for me. So I'm still fighting, and these footmen, they're doing pretty well. I'll go back up to normal speed now. The Hearthguard are still standing. They're still providing this morale bonus. More archers coming in just to add mass to this army. Some Dunlending veterans, some ballista. Really, just manpower is coming over here at this point. And he saw how much damage I was doing with my Rangers, so he detaches the Swordmasters, comes on in. 1 unit of mounted company left, disrupting them too. They've still got ammunition, so I was sort of picking the targets off down here. Maybe I should have aimed for that that one cavalryman, actually, taken him out, stopped him being a pest. So the pikes are starting to waver.
The enemy general lies dead.
Good, so that was the Rune general wiped out. And now with these guardians slotted into the mix, there's no way that my garrison footmen can outfight that. And this mob of manpower hitting the line just causes a rout.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
And I think just about, by the looks of things, just about everything starts snapping into a rout at this point. Hearthguard are standing, as sort of would be expected of them, but they're not going to beat Galadriel nobles. They'll take out, I would hope, one or two more, but no, they're not going to finish that. So this is a rout sort of all across the board for me, with the exception of... where is he? So at the end of all this, what I have left is one rider still remaining. And this battle sort of just... Well, my actions in this battle sort of really go toward my point of you should never really leave a battle, you shouldn't surrender until every single one of your units is gone, because you can still benefit your forces greatly. And I looked at the counter there. We only have 69% of our losses for the enemy's 73, and I was quite surprised. I'd given up after I broke, and I felt the dwarves were about to break too. But the dwarves, to be honest, they were handling themselves quite well. They've busted up this line. The Nazhai are really struggling against the 3rd Legion. That's quite surprising. We've got the 4th Legion here, taking out them. And yeah, so this very messy fight has slowly turned in the dwarves' favour, which is cool to see. The Guardians and, well, just about everything is now coming over to finish off the dwarves at this point. Well, I'm going to follow my horseman for a bit, if I can find him again. Ah, good. Yeah, so I knew I can run around, I can kill a few people around here, but my best bet is to come over and assist my ally. So I ran him to this point, and I just started to pick targets that I felt I could do damage to. So there's some archers here. I come on in. So that's 4 archers gone, and that unit routed. I know the Earls of Dale would have definitely had something to do with it, and they would have been able to do it themselves. But I'd like to think that one little charging man there did some work. And in addition to that, I also had some other men return, these guys. So what I do with them first is I hit the back of this unit. I run away because I don't want to get them caught up with those Galadriel nobles. So I fall back from that. And this is what most of them did, was they thought I was totally routed. So I'm able to hit a lot of units that are just doing nothing. So he gets a good sort of javelin shot against me before I'm able to react. Actually, I think he's probably going to get another. Ouch. Why am I letting him do this? I charge in again sometime soon. I think I was probably microing the heck out of my one horseman. So I tried to do a charge in to this mob. I was hoping that I could just get a good hit and take down a camel's chosen, but because of the route I charged in at, it didn't work out. I come in again, and I start to strike these. There's one guy left. Now I, for some reason, think... Now what do I do here? Yeah, I want to charge him for some reason, which is a silly move, because even though I'm able to kill this guy, he gets out of melee, and then he throws something at me. Oh, maybe not. No, I may have been mistaken. I definitely make a mistake like that at some point with this guy. So I don't think I'm attacking him right there. Yeah, no, I just think he's gonna... I want to charge these guys, but then, yeah, so he's able to get one shot, and he kills one of my men. So that was an unfortunate move. So after that, I see these archers and I think, ah great, I can mow through a few of those. Dale at this point has near enough totally wiped out Rune, and he's got a lot of his army left. But the main benefit from him is he's still got archers, he's still got a ballista, and his Lake Town spear, his Lake Town patrol still have javelins. There's also a few cavalry left. So I was feeling pretty good about this. And then, especially since the dwarves were still fighting, and the dwarves were just killing as absolutely many as they can, I think what he tried to do here was he tried to fall back and form up again, but you know, we had a quick chat and I thought the best thing for him to do wouldn't be run from them, would just be try to just fight and try to just kill as many as you can, because they're gonna catch you. You're exhausted, they're elves. It's you know, you either fight them in a tight area, which benefits you, or you fall back to this and they get to attack you as they please. Yep, that's my cavalier done now. So I didn't want to run him all the way back because I wanted him to get there with a bit of energy, and
our men have fought long and are becoming tired.
I think that's probably, yeah, that's the call for everything is tired now. Probably a few of my men that are running are exhausted. So these, I think it was a case of I engaged these archers and they stopped following their move order, and Lord Wilcome just kind of forgot about them. So I was able to slowly, little by little, chew through this force with my guardians, which I was really happy with. Even though it is just a bunch of archers, it's 60 guys that could have bogged down one of Dale's units at a later stage. The Mithril Guard are still fighting. They'll hold for quite some time longer, actually. And yeah, that was
dead. Without their general, they may lose.
So that was the Dwarven general, unfortunately. But the Dwarven morale is pretty good, even though these men are exhausted. They outclass a lot. Saying that these are nobles and these are sword masters. So yeah, that's not going to end too well. But with everything that's sort of going in there, he's able to kill off quite a nice chunk again. So we're at 81% of our losses for 86% of theirs. That counter, however, doesn't look into routing units, which a lot of my units were routed off the field. So even though it looks like we've got a good 6% advantage,
the enemy army flees the
it's
field.
Probably a lot closer
Pursue
than that.
And run them down.
Little by little though, I'm still chewing away at these guys, and since they've not been ordered to fight me, they're staying in this kind of obscure, they're only engaging when they've been poked, and by that point they've lost half of their health. So yeah, taking some damage, taking some losses, but all in all, not too bad. Now there was a thought here. I could have taken my last remaining cavalrymen and slammed them into that group of archers, and that would have definitely done a lot more damage, would have probably routed them on the spot, but I wanted to keep them with the rest of Dale's forces. Is that them running now? Nope, they're still standing. So yeah, these archers, they do stay, and they fight down almost to the last man, which is pretty good to see. But as I say, if Lord Wilcome had known that fight was happening, I think he probably would have sent something to finish it off. This one mounted company still alive. Really should have been dealt with by the Tharbad riders, or should have been dealt with by my crossbowmen. Just all in all, it's he shouldn't still be around. Infantry are still fighting. They're totally surrounded now, so they aren't going to last too much longer. Okay, so while Dale's moving up, I'll try to rattle off what he's got left. So 2 units for Earls of Dale, 1 of 8, 1 of... there's another unit around, but I'm not quite sure where it is. He's running through an area where there are stakes, so I'm sure he is watching out for that, but he needs to be careful. Another unit of 11, that's there. These Lake Town Patrol, some things are running, which I wouldn't be doing myself. I would want everything to be turning up around about the same position. But
Our
I
allies
guess
have fled the field like cowards.
so. That was the last Dwarven unit, but I guess he was just feeling pretty confident. So my Guardians just chasing off the last 4 archers, but I just take them and start to link up again with Dale's forces. Everything else, is everything running? Yeah, everything's sort of having a little run. I think he doesn't want the Urukai to rest, but as I say, we've got the artillery advantage, we've got the range advantage. I would just take my time. 2 of the Earls, black shots. One of these Earls are still in pretty good condition, so some more Earls there. The Merquindi Pikes, if they are able to, I think, surviving right now, unless the Guardians are still alive, they are the best Pikes remaining. They are. Okay, cool. So the Merquindi Pikes can definitely go toe to toe with those Guardians for a little while. Probably beat them considering they outnumber them 2 to 1, but. And that's that. I think Swordmasters. 1 Lake Town Pikeman there. Yep. So you can probably link up with something and just prod away at the enemy. And there is my horseman. So I think I was very cautious because I didn't want to lose my last horseman after all this. Just to run him into stakes. So I was careful. But also, I'll just speed it up a little bit as everybody's doing their last, forming up for the final battle. We're on 85, they're on 92. So, we're still pretty spaced out. Well, I say we, I mean Dale is still pretty spaced out, and I think they want to make use of that. Oh, I've got some Minas Grethlin spearmen just trying to find their way out of the map. So my Guardians exhausted, still 15 guys left. At this point I think they had raised up their chevrons a little bit. My Royal Court of House Thorondor, he was on triple golden chevrons at this point, so he was quite a beast. And I saw that, what did I go for with him actually? One of my main things here was these Lake Town Patrolmen. They've still got javelins. I didn't want them to get routed off the field. I didn't want to lose them. So I moved my Guardians over and I charge in, take down that final mounted company. I was chuffed with that. I was glad that I got that kill. And yeah, with these Guardians, I know I'm not going to get many kills. I know they're exhausted. They're probably not going to hold out too long in melee. But I wanted them to hold back these attackers so that the Lake Town Patrol could use their javelins. So I just grab them, throw in. He starts running through a hail of friendly fire, but luckily he doesn't get hit by too much of it. I'm just looking for targets for him now. As I say, with my Guardians getting thrown into melee there, they're just going to hold as best they can. I know they're not going to... yeah. So they're just holding, and I'm letting them do it. They're getting supported by the Dragon Slayers though. Those Swordmasters, pretty happy to kill one of those. Took a few hits, but he's still standing, he's doing okay. And then just coming into the back of these guys. Charge got broken, that's unfortunate.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
But no, with we've still got all these archers left, with a bit of ammo. We're just able to fire into the side of these into the Guardians. Good, yeah, they've gone down to 15 now. Earl's Veskarov coming in, they'll be able to match just about everything they've got on the field. I was worried because there were still Naz High on the field, and but these Earls are able to go toe to toe with those sorts of units. So I still felt pretty comfortable. The Dragon Slayers are doing really quite well against the Nobles. I was expecting them to lose, but I guess those Galadriel Nobles have taken a heck of a pounding. My one remaining horseman, just surely I don't charge routing men. I'm better than that. No, I think I charged into the ballistic crew, but with them being so spaced out, I'm not really going to be able to
The
do
enemy
too great in
general
there.
flees like the coward he is.
I got
Press
one.
onward and
I think I
break the
got two.
spirit of his army.
Oh no, no. I was happy with my one. I wanted to get out before they swamped him. They're all dead rout there, actually. And these guardians with such little numbers, they're going to be able to do some damage against this smaller unit of ours. Dalian marksmen now out of ammo, I think, just fighting with their axes. But I think it's mainly our cavalry advantage here. They've got nothing to keep our cavalry at bay anymore. They're out of ammunition, and they've got no cavalry of their own. Still surviving, so it's... Yeah, had they... I didn't catch how those last 6 champions of the hand died. They were probably just charged into some dwarves to try and deal with them, but it could have been good to have kept them, because 6 champions of the hand would have definitely finished off my guy, and they would have been able to kill quite a lot of earls too, I suspect. Yeah, so I'm just trying to rack up as many kills as I can with this guy, and the Guardians certainly haven't broken, but the Guardians get into melee with those Cavs. And at this point we're 89 for 98, so we're feeling pretty good. There's nothing they can really do to turn this around at this point. I think that ballista, that Isengard ballista, had it focused on me on occasion, I think I think that could have done a tremendous amount of damage. My units were definitely in pretty bad formations for some of that time, and he could have racked up a few kills. But saying that, he killed a lot of dwarves with it, so dwarves are worth a few, you know, militia tier humans anyway. So what is the last unit? Probably the Nazhai. Yeah, so they're totally surrounded. Earls, black shots, Bardian herd. It's more Earls coming in. It's, yeah. I thought about charging my cavalryman in there, but no, I wanted him to survive. He's done pretty well. And yep, that's all they've got. So we'll just speed up until that finishes.
Pursue and run them down.
I think that was the last elf on the field, routing there. Interesting formation from those marksmen.
Good tidings, good tidings. The enemy general lies. Victory is ours, but only by a sword's edge.
Good. Yeah, so that was a very close victory. I deployed as my Cardinal army is actually not too high on manpower, so it's yeah, but I was still one of the more larger armies on the field. Lothlorien, of course, being the smallest with his elves, and just after that the dwarves of Khazad-dûm. I racked up, I'd like to say they were okay amounts of kills. Like, I was mostly fighting elves there, so I thought I did okay. But lots of screw ups with my crossbowmen at the start there. So we'll generally go through what we've done. The Royal Court of House Throndor. Yeah, lots of kills. I'd love to know just how many were dealt by that one final guy. Definitely probably about 20 or 30 just by himself. The Tharbad Riders, they could have been used a bit better. I allowed them to get rear charged, and that killed a lot of them. I just didn't use them too effectively. Hearthguard, yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't get off more kills with their arrows. I thought they'd do better with those, but they didn't get to use up all their ammunition, and also a lot of their time was spent without me actually giving them a clear target. So I think they were probably just looking out for themselves and just finding poor targets. Guardians, yeah, racking up kills. A lot of those kills were, again, at the end, just mowing down entire units of archers and stuff. That was good. Sharpshooters, one of them a bit unfortunate, other one pretty damn good. Well, pretty good in terms of killing elves, I think. So Wardens, that was unfortunate. I guess the Wardens were flanked by the nobles, but still, I would have expected, you know, they had enemies facing them from the front. I would have hoped they did better. One of the footmen did quite nicely. The other not so much. That would have probably been the final one there that he routed off the field. So the spearmen were kind of meat shields, hit by pretty high quality cav, and as you can see, 75 healed there. They lost a lot of people to range fire. So that's not the end of the world. The swordsmen were okay. Probably that was the swordsman that went on my left flank and had to tackle some pretty elite units. Dunedin captains did okay again. On the left there were a lot of swordmasters, which Dunedin captains are not going to beat Lothlorien swordmasters, and they're not going to beat. Well, they'll stand an okay chance at some other things. So getting a positive kill death ratio is okay over there. Tharbad Warhammers over on the right, there were a lot, much like far lower quality units, so they did not too bad at all. Dunedin Rangers, pretty happy with those kills. They did a lot more killing than I thought. I wish I didn't send them out at the beginning. If they were doing what they were doing in the main fight with a full unit of Rangers, that would have been incredible. And I think that would have been a lot more kills, and maybe it could have even turned it around. And as I say, the civilians, 30 kills. A lot of those would have been elven archers that had run out of ammunition. Would have preferred probably not to bring them, and as I say, just throw out some more upgrades to my army as a whole. But hey, it was worth a try. It's not something I do very often, so. Apart from that, MVP definitely Dale. He carried us through that. We were really grateful for him. And no, that was that. Thank you very much.